Hello friends, welcome to the new year, and now I am going to complete the process costing part 2. So here I am going to start with process costing part 2, and in this I am going to cover the equivalent production, and this I am going to cover by the weighted average method. I would request you all to wear a headphone for better sound clarity. So, and those who are viewing the lecture for the first time, I would like you all to move to the process costing part 1 and then come to process costing part 2, since the concepts are explained in process costing part 1. So those who are following the lectures, I am starting with the sum. The following details are available of process X for August 2011. Opening work in progress is 8000 units. Degree of completion and cost: material 100%, labor is 60%, overheads are 60%. Input is 1,82,000 units. Labor paid, overheads incurred, units scrapped is 14,000 units. Degree of completion: material, labor and overheads. Work in progress is 18,000 units. Degree of completion: material is 100%, labor and overheads are 70%. 1,58,000 were completed and transferred to next process. Normal loss is 8% of the total input, including the opening work in progress. Scrap value is 8 per unit to be adjusted. Okay, you are required to prepare equivalent, so you all are not able to view. Okay, just let me get the full screen mode on. Okay friends, now see, you are required to compute assuming that average method. So in this we are going to do the average method of inventory. So this is the average method which I am going to do. So let's start the sum. So I'm rubbing this part. So first, this will be our last lecture on process costing. So working note 1 will be to determine, we have to calculate, or it would be better, we have to determine the actual output. So we need to determine the actual output, and it is similar to what I have done in the process costing part 1. So the opening work in progress is 8000 units. Okay, so we have an opening work in progress which is 8000 units. Then there is an input of 1,82,000 units. Okay, so there is a raw material introduced which is, I think so, 1,82,000 units. So this is the raw material introduced. Okay, then the units scrapped is 14,000 units are scrapped. So this is a loss. So this will subtract the scrap units. So this is R. The scrap units is, I've forgotten how much it is. So the units scrapped is 14,000 units. Okay, so units scrapped 14,000 units. Then friends, we have a closing work in progress which is 18,000 units. Okay, so this closing work in progress which is 18,000 units, this also I'm going to subtract, and all this is going to give me the actual output. And I think actual output is given. 1,58,000 units were completed and transferred to next process. So 1,58,000 units, since it is a CA sum, so I don't think there would be any mistakes, but then also check it out. 8,000 plus 1,82,000 minus 14,000 minus 18,000 is giving me 1,58,000 units. Yes. So the actual output is what we have got it, and this is what it is given in the question. So now friends, I'm going to working note 2. Those who are not following it, kindly refer to lecture part 1. Working note part 2. So what it is given to us is the units scrapped, and this is 14,000 units. Okay, so we have units scrapped, and here it is 14,000 units. Normally it should consist of normal loss, and it should consist of abnormal loss. So now I'm going further. Okay, units scrapped is 14,000 units. Okay, then friends, 8 adjustment. Normal loss is 8% of the total input including opening work in progress. So normal loss is 8%. So I can divide this into two parts. One is the normal loss, and the other one would be the abnormal loss. So normal loss is 8% of the input plus they have said the opening work in progress. So I shall read it again. The normal loss is 8% of the total input including opening work in progress. So you should include opening work in progress. So 8 on 100, and we are aware of the input. How much is the input? Raw material introduction 1,82,000 units is the input, and 8,000 units is the opening work in progress. So we shall consider this two. 1,82,000 plus 8,000. 1,82,000 plus 8,000. Sorry, plus 8,000. So this is 8 on 100, and I'm going to add 1,82,000 plus 8 is going to give me 1,90,000, and 1,90,000 into 8% is going to give me 15,200 units. Okay, so this is our normal loss, friends. Now, okay, now we have to be alert here. Okay, just give me 1 minute where all these things have gone. Insert actions, toolbar, standard toolbar. Okay, sorry, and where is then gone? What has happened today? Toolbar, so actions, insert, new page, text pack, view page with toolbars, view toolbars, standard. Okay, pen. Okay, sorry, I'm also new to this. Okay, so medium, I'm highlighting something. Sorry for the trouble. See friends, the units scrapped is 14,000 units are scrapped, and 14,000 units are scrapped, and 15,200 is the normal loss. So friends, there is no abnormal loss in it. This time we are having an abnormal gain. So this is an abnormal gain which we are having right now, and try to understand it. They have given that the units scrapped are 14,000 units in actual. So in actual 14,000 units have been scrapped. As per our calculation, the normal loss is 15,200. In other words, the difference, which is 15,200, and the units actually scrapped is 14,000 in total. So there are 1,200 units which are made above the normal, which are made above the normal loss. So this is called the abnormal gain. So remember friends, that this is 14,000 units, and if the normal loss is more than the scrap units, it means it will give you an abnormal gain, which is 1,200 units. If you want, I will also explain in some another manner. For example, I'm preparing a small process account for you all. So this is our process account, and in this I'm going to prepare quantity, and this is by normal loss. So we have a normal loss of 15,200 units, and here friends we have an abnormal gain of 1,200 units. So what they have given us is 15,200 minus 1,200 units, that is equal to friends 14,000 units. They have given this 14,000 units as net, which are scrapped friends. So this you need to remember, that the normal loss is 15,200 and the abnormal gain is 1,200. So 15,200 minus 1,200 is going to give me 14,000 units which are scrapped, and which is given to you in the question here. So I hope I have made myself clear. So remember this part. So in this you are not having any abnormal loss, and you are having an abnormal gain equal to 1,200 units. So I'm moving further. So now this is also over, everything is over, I think. So I don't need to find anything. Okay, so now I'm going to prepare a process account. So we are going to prepare a process, and what is the name of the process? So what is the name of the process? Process X. So process X account we are going to prepare. So I'm taking the entire page right now. So it is particulars, then we have quantity, then it is amount, then it is particulars, and then we have quantity, and then we have amount. Those who are following the lecture, they will understand it better, but what I want to say is that you all would be having something in your mind, that what is the difference between the FIFO and the weighted average. My friends, the difference is going to come very soon in the next working note, so have patience. So the opening work in progress is 8,000 units. So this I'm going to write. So there is an opening work in progress of 8,000 units, and what I'm going to do is this material, this labor, and this overheads, all three I'm going to add together. And remember friends, that whenever a weighted average method is asked, they are going to give you the breakup of all these three including the price. I will be explaining in a better way once we are in that part. So material, labor, and overheads, all these three things I'm adding. So it is 63,900 of materials, then 10,800 and 5,400. Okay, 10,800 and 5,400. So all three I'm adding together. 63,900, 10,800 and 5,400. So it is 80,100. So now what we are going to do is, opening work in progress is over. Then there is a input of 1,82,000 units, and this is the cost. Okay, so the input will be termed as raw material introduced. So raw material introduced is our input, and 1,82,000 units. Okay, so 1,82,000 units, and 756,900 is the cost. Okay, 756,900 is the cost. Then friends, there is labor 3,28,000. Okay, so there is a labor cost of 3,28,000. Then we have overheads of 1,64,000. So we have overheads of 1,64,000. Okay, then friends, there the unit scrapped, so this we have already done in the working, so I'm going to follow the working. The units scrapped, friends, were 14,000 units, and we have the net part which is ready. There was an abnormal gain of 1200 units and the normal loss. So here I'm going to write by normal loss, and the normal loss should be multiplied by the scrap value. How much is the normal loss? 15,200 units. Okay, so 15,200 units is the normal loss, and I need to look at the scrap value. So the scrap value is 8 per unit, to be adjusted in the direct material cost that I will explain later. Right now we know the scrap value is 8 per unit. Okay, so 8 per unit, so 15,200 into 8 I am doing. 15,200 into 8 is going to give me 121,600. Then friends, we have abnormal gain of 1200 units. So here I am going to write to abnormal gain, and this is 1200 units. This I have to find the cost for this. So I need to find the cost for this. Now I am reading the question. And 1,50,000 units, then we have a closing work in progress which is 18,000 units. So I'm going to write here closing work in progress, and this closing work in progress is 18,000 units. So closing work in progress is 18,000 units, and for this also I need to get the cost. Okay, and 1,58,000 is to be transferred to the next process. So by finished goods is 1,58,000 units, and for this also I need to get the cost, friends. So 1,58,000. Okay, so I think I have filled up everything. So you need to get the cost of these two items. Okay, all these three items you need to get the cost, friends. Now we are going to a very crucial part, and in this I am going to prepare a statement of equivalent production. And friends, very crucial part, we are going to do this by weighted average method. Now you'll come to know what is the difference between the two. First we need to look, so there is a raw material here and there is no other raw material, so we have only one raw material. This is input is the raw material 1, and there is no other raw material. If you look at the first sum, you were having two raw materials. Here there is only one material, and then you need to write here percentage, and here you need to write units. Then labor and overheads. Okay, then here we are going to write labor, and here we are going to write overheads. This is percentage in units, and this is also percentage in units. Now friends, we need to find the closing work in progress, and we need to find the cost of closing work in progress. There is no difference in FIFO and weighted average for this calculation. So things which are similar, I am doing it first. So this here you can write here particulars. So now we have a closing work in progress, and you should be aware costs incurred till date is what you need to look at. Costs incurred till date. So the closing work in progress, the material cost incurred is 100% and labor and overheads are 70%. Okay. So material is 100%, labor is 70%, overheads is 70%. And how many are the units closing work in progress? We have 18,000 units. So yes, 18,000 units are there. So 18,000 units, 100% is 18,000 units. 18,000 units, 70%, I'm going to get 18,000 into 70% is 12,600, and 18,000 into 70% is again 12,600. So this is the closing work in progress. Then students, friends, now we need to find what when there is an abnormal gain, and here also we need to find the cost. Okay, so now we have abnormal gain, and friends, remember one important thing, very important thing, I'm highlighting something. Abnormal gain, what you need to remember is it is always 100%. This you need to remember, friends. It is always 100% because the product is made in full and you have made something extra than the normal capacity or the normal loss. So this is abnormal gain. It is always taken as 100%, friends. So don't do the mistake. So the abnormal gain which they have given us is 1200 units. So I am taking here 1200 units. Okay, so here I am taking 1200 units, and this will always be 100% for material, 100% for labor, and 100% for overheads. So 1200, 1200, and 1200. So this is something new which you have learned in this part. And now the very crucial part. Now we are heading to finished goods, and finished goods is a very crucial part which we are going to do. Is you have to take finished goods, friends, completed at 100%. Completed at 100%. This is the difference. If you would observe the previous lecture that I had taken the opening work in progress, which was converted into finished goods, and then I had taken the current input, and in this you don't need to consider the opening work in progress. You need to take the finished goods at 100% in all respects. So you are going to take the finished goods 100% in all respects. So 100% of 1,58,000 units, 100% of 1,58,000 will be the same. 100% of 1,58,000 units is 1,58,000, and again 100% will be 1,58,000 units. So remember, friends, the closing work in progress you have to take same, the cost incurred till date, and the abnormal gain you have to always take it as 100%, and the finished goods you have to take it at 100%. That is this. Now friends, one more thing you need to remember here is the abnormal gain units you are going to subtract. Now the question would arise that why should I subtract abnormal gain? If you see, friends, that there is normal loss, there is closing work in progress, there is finished goods, and then there is abnormal gain. So closing work in progress and finished goods are on the same side, and the abnormal gain is on the other side. So you need to subtract the abnormal gain, and abnormal loss we need to add it. So abnormal gain units you need to subtract. So we are going to get the units now, and these are nothing but equivalent units. So 18,000 minus 1200 plus 1,58,000 is going to give me 174,800 units. Then 12,600 minus 1200 plus 1,58,000 is going to give me 169,400 units. Then 12,600 minus 1200 plus 1,58,000 is going to give me 169,400 units. Now friends, I am going to prepare one more statement, which is called the statement of equivalent cost per unit. This we are doing by the weighted average method. You know that there is material, there is labor, and there are overheads. Now friends, you have to be careful here. You have to consider all the costs together because it is a weighted average method. So the opening work in progress is having material, labor, and overhead. So you have to consider all these three costs together. If you are getting confused, then I would tell you all to look at the FIFO method one more time and then come to the weighted average at the same time. Maybe it will take few more hours for you to understand it, but you need to practice. If you practice, you'll know the difference. Material, labor, and overheads is the opening work in progress. So the opening work in progress is having material, labor, and overheads, and this is in amount. So it is 63,900 for material, 63,900, and labor is 10,800 and 5,400. Labor is 10,800 and overheads are 5,400. And then the other cost is, there is a raw material introduced which is 756,900. Okay, so there is a raw material introduced which is how much? 756,900. So this is 756,900. There is a raw material introduced. Okay, sorry, 756,900. Okay, there is no labor and overheads. Then the labor is paid 3,28,000 plus the labor 3,28,000. All the expenses, friends, I am going to add. And there is overheads of 1,64,000. Okay, so there is overheads of 1,64,000. Okay, then anything else? Okay, nothing. Then one thing we need to do is, first we are going to add all these things. So 63,900 plus 756,900 is going to give me 820,800. Okay, 10,800 plus 3,28,000 is going to give me 338,800. 5,400 plus 1,64,000 is going to give me 169,400. And from this, friends, remember we have to subtract the normal loss, and normal loss we are aware. The normal loss is 121,600. So 121,600 I'm going to subtract from here, and then I'm going to read something which is given. Normal loss of 8% of total input including opening work in progress. Okay, then the scrap value, which is the normal loss they are talking about, is to be adjusted in direct material cost. For instance, this is a CA sum. They have done this to confuse you all. There is no difference in any material in case of weighted average method, so this is only to confuse the students, so that line is not at all relevant. 820 800 minus 121 600, so you have 699 200, then 338 800, then 169 400. This is the cost. Then I have to get the units, and the units are ready. 174 800, so 174 800 units over here. Then 169 400 and 169 400, so 169 400 and 169 400. Then friends, we are going to get the equivalent cost per unit. So this cost I am going to divide by the units, and this is going to give me per unit 699 200. I will divide by 174 800, so equivalent cost is 4 rupees 38 338 800 divided by 169 400, so equivalent cost is 2, and 169 for this will be 1. So we have got the equivalent cost. So yes, it's good the answer is not coming in decimals. Now it's very simple friends. For abnormal gain and for finished goods, in case of weighted average, we have taken this as 100%. So you know there is no need to do any breakup for these two things, for these two items. So I'm going to add the equivalent cost together. So equivalent cost per unit in total is how much friends? 4 plus 2 plus 1 4 6 7 7 rupees is the equivalent cost per unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write here 7 and I'm going to write here 7. 7 into 1200 is going to give me 8400, and 7 into 1,58,000 is going to give me 11,06,000. Okay, so I've done with the sum. Now the 5 minutes it will take more. Now for work in progress I need to find. First let us see what the answer is going to come. Check, I am doing it. This is what we should get. So what I'll do, I'll add all these things, then I'll subtract this and this, and I'm going to get some balancing figure. So 81, so I'm adding 8100 plus 756 900, 3,28,000, 1,64,000, 8,400 minus 121 600 minus 11,06,000. Okay, so I should get 109,800. 109,800. Since we have no decimals, so I think I will get the answer proper. There would be no rounding off to be done by me. So now we are going to get the closing work in progress cost. So it has taken materials, it has taken labor, and it has taken overheads, and we have to get its equivalent units. This time I've changed the pattern compared to the last sum. So change the pattern in the sense I've changed the presentation. The closing work in progress is 18,000 units of material, 12,600 of labor, and 12,600 of overheads. So 18,000, 12,600. Okay, so 18,000 units, 12,600 units, and 12,600 units. then we have to multiply by the cost per unit, which is the equivalent cost per unit. Here you have 4, then 2, and then 1. So you're going to get the closing work in progress in rupees. So 18,000 into 4 is 72,000. Okay, then 12,600 into 2 is 25,200, and 12,600. So I'm going to add all these three: 72,000, 25,200, 12,600. So 10,109,800 is what I'm getting. So what should I have found here is 109,800 I'm getting, and this is also I think same only, no? Okay, 109,800. So we are done with the sum, friends. Sorry for disturbance in the middle. Thank you all.